After finishing up at ICD, Shoe comes to Lodhi Colony to work on his second piece, a wall that explores graffiti as the weeds of art.
Let go. All I want for my team is transition that's seamless. From broke to poor, then poor to good to rich, and I mean this.
He is inspired by the connection between calligraphy and nature.
The brooms are made of plants, so if you put it in paint and then you paint with it, it looks like plants. So the plants make the broom and the broom make the plants.
Destined for big things, big goals is big goals. I do it big with these big dreams. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about a new day where I do things my team. We do it big. You know what it is, we running this and they fiending. They want that.
Shoe writes poetry that reflects in the works he makes. His words are often the bridges that connect one of his pieces to another.
Two within my shoes, got nothing to lose, only something to prove. I'ma do the moves as I choose. I'm dreaming about them better days. With me and crew, do what we do.
Sans serifs, no letters. No letters, no words. No words, no signs, no names in the street. Just rows of buildings and gardens sans weeds. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say, that graffiti are the weeds of art. It's unwanted, but still, it's there.
You know what it is, we running this and they fiending. They want that there. We number one and ain't another one to do what we done, cause we done it, son. Don't wake me up.
In typography, sans serif, it means without a serif, without like ornament. And the beginning of lettering in like Roman Latin letters, they always had serifs.
Focus on my grind. They'll wake me up. I'm focused all the time. They'll wake me up. I'm focused on the prize. They'll wake me up. I'm focused on getting mine. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about a new day where I do things my team.
Calligraphy is more about ornamenting letters, and that's what graffiti is about. Everything that's kind of the art of writing.
Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about a new.
Although Shoe's style mostly features black, he drew inspiration from India's chaotic, colorful surrounding and brought these hues into his work.
Do what we done, cause we done it, son. Don't wake me up.
It's my first time in India, and yeah, it kind of took me a day to adjust. India is quite colorful, even though there's a lot of smog and the trees are a little bit gray because of all the dust and everything. But still, it's colorful in the literal sense.
All I want for my team is transition that's
मैंने पढ़ा था इसके बारे में, किसी स्वीडिश आर्टिस्ट ने बनाया है और कुछ वर्ड्स यूज़ करे जो समझ नहीं आते थोड़े बहुत, पर ऐसा कुछ मैसेज सा देना चाह रहे हैं, कुछ अच्छी वाइब सी आ रही है.
like I can't stop and I can't stop until I rain top.
The calligraphic of this, what is written here, it's very beautiful. It looks very beautiful. The meaning of few lines I did not understand.
Big dream. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming.
ये मुझे लग रहा है भूत की कहानी है.
We do it big. You know what it is. We
काफ़ी ज़्यादा वाइब्रेंट है, कंट्रास्ट वगैरह भी यूज़ करे गए हैं, येलो, पिंक, ब्लैक, काफ़ी अच्छे कलर यूज़ करे गए हैं, ब्लू भी है. और जो फॉन्ट, लेकिन सबसे स्पेशली जो इसके फॉन्ट्स हैं वो काफ़ी अच्छे हैं.
within my shoes, got nothing to lose, only something to prove.
मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत मज़ा आया इस चीज़ को देख के. हम पर्सनली एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते इस चीज़ को, और हमें है ही नहीं, आर्ट सूट तो हमारे बस की बात ही नहीं है.
Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming.
मैंने मानो पिचकारी भरी, आप मैं इमेजिन नहीं करता झाड़ू से भरा होगा ये चीज़ें.
What it is, we running this and they fiending. They want that there. We number one and ain't another one to do what we done, cause we done it, son. Don't wake me up. Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about a new day where I do things my team. We do it big. You know what it is, we running this and they fiending. They want that there. We number one and ain't another one to do what we done, cause we done it, son. Don't wake me up.
While Shoe finishes up in Lodhi Colony, we return to Tughlakabad, where Amitabh studies the staggered canvas he's going to be working with.
Start had the show laid out and the template set, and we were all given certain sites or islands that we were responding to.
Amitabh finds inspiration for his piece in the dumping yard next to the exhibition venue.
The dumping yard is like, it's a landmark you really want to ignore. It's like this this creature that you want to. It's there and it's growing, and you are feeding it, but you don't want to acknowledge it. And that's very peculiar urban problem, so to speak. So it so happened that when this show was happening here, the garbage dump stopped. They're not dumping garbage in it anymore. So, and for me, compositionally and conceptually, it was perfect because it became a dead beast for me. It became this monster that was but is no more, you know. This dead, large, humongous giant that is just lying there now, inactive. And I thought that the goriness of that particular urban situation, I had the possibility to reflect it. Again, I think just as being part of a larger public polity, I don't think I'll attempt gory works in public spaces, so to speak, but the exhibition provided a unique opportunity to me to work in scale and not really, and assert my desire for a form more clearly, which is why this beheaded creature sort of came about as a response to the Tughlakabad dumping yard. Because it's a container, so it has these rivuleted surfaces. The more I realize that what I'm basically doing is asserting my own idea on something that's totally contrary to it. Like to make a straight line, it's impossible. But I was making straight lines in that sense. So to flatten the structure became the formal ambition of this piece, and from certain vantage points, that flattening does happen. And I'm happy that in the span of like 2 weeks, I could do two pieces that are totally different in ambition, in their aesthetic value, in what I hope they achieve.
The street art itself has its own different manifestations, but holding it in the container depot, using the container placement and visualizing like even this animal and various other expressions of the artist are just beautiful.
एक तरह से से टाइप का एक मैंने लेसन पढ़ा 12th में नेल्सन मंडेला के बारे में, उस टाइप का भी चित्र लग रहा है।
इसका ये बहुत बढ़िया बनाया है, ये इसके पाँव भी और कलर भी बढ़िया है और मान लो डिजाइन भी बहुत अच्छा बना दिया है।
The lion painted on 2-3 container, so I really like because giving a picture on 3D type of things is sometimes little bit difficult to because artists can't see the complete things in a holistic way. So that I think is an interesting.
On Shoe's last day in India, he created an impromptu piece called Delhi Traffic, which started as a name game.
Excuse me, can you put all of our names together like one? Can you just put it now? Next is SNEHA.
With every decision, it's like with a great yo, and I ain't gonna let it go get to me, dog. Now picture me.
The public who was there for the opening wrote their own names on a piece of paper, and he started to write in his calligraphy style all the names, forming like, you know, these sort of like confused patterns, because after a point of time, like this juxtaposition of all the names form like a sort of black canvas with a lot of drippings here and there, which form like the Delhi traffic in his opinion.
Adele, heb je nog een naam voor me?
There is graffiti in pretty much every city in the world. And it was actually funny for me to find out that in Delhi it's not so, there is hardly any graffiti. But maybe through the street art, in a few years you'll definitely catch up and probably get better than all of us.
Well, here it go. Yeah, you